Hello and welcome to the Social Recruiting Show. I'm Katrina Collier. I'm a social media recruitment trainer and speaker, and I'm joined today by Audra Knight, who is an employer branding nerd. I don't know why she calls herself that, but she's certainly a guru in this space. And today we're very excited to be joined by Madeline Scalar, who is a Twitter strategist, and we are going to talk all about Twitter and recruiting and getting it right and getting it wrong. So thanks for joining us, Madeline.
Thanks for having me, Katrina and Audra. I appreciate you guys having me on your show. I've been on your show. I've watched it. I like it.
Thank you. So, Madeline, I know you have a podcast, a Twitter chat, consulting business. I think there's something else I missed.
Your blog. The founder of Go Girls Music, because Chicks Rock, which is how I know you. Mm-hmm. I started building a community 20 years ago. That's when I started the online music community, and I was one of the first web designers here in Houston. So I'm kind of like old school with all this techie internet stuff. It's very cool.
But you're old school, but you're also like a real early adopter of these things like Blab and Twitter chats. Didn't you? When did you start GG Chat? It was early, right?
GG Chat was started in 2010. So we've been running that for 4.5 years. And not only do we run a Twitter chat for musicians, we run it twice because, and you'll love this, Katrina, what happened was about 1.5 years in, I started getting all these people in Europe saying, well, wait a minute, what about us? It's nighttime for you guys. It's middle of the night for us. And we can't come on. Some of them did come on, but it was like, 2 or 3 in the morning. So I started a daytime chat. So all these years now I've been running, we do one in the afternoon and one in the evening. So twice. Pretty cool.
Audra and I will get there. We haven't got there yet. But I mean, looking at the little map up the top, there's quite a lot of people from all around. There's people up earlier than you from the West Coast there.
I know. It's awesome. There's people here I know. This is so wonderful.
Yeah, that's 7 a.m. for them. Very cool.
Yeah, definitely. So how did you end up specializing in Twitter per se?
Okay, great story. So I've been specialized in social media for over 10 years now, about 11 years now. And when I'm traveling at conferences, I'm always asking everybody, what's your favorite social network? What works for you? What doesn't work for you? I'm a very inquisitive person. It serves me well. And what I was finding time and time again is so many people said, I don't understand Twitter. I just don't get it. Or they'd say, isn't that the social network where you post what you had for breakfast? I don't get that. I don't want to be on that. So I noticed there was a very strong need for education. And so I took it upon myself to start educating people. That became my mission. So I started a hashtag. I call it Twitter Smarter. Yeah. And I started developing online training programs. And then last year I started the podcast and a Twitter chat. And it's just been amazing. I built this really powerful community of people. On one hand, you got the people that are very knowledgeable and want to share their information with the community. And then on the other hand, you got so many people that want to learn. So it's just so amazing to have all these people together on the Twitter chat every week. I just love it.
I mean, it always ceases to amaze me that people think, well, I get that comment about Facebook. Oh, I'm not on Facebook because people just post about their breakfast. And my usual response to that's probably a bit rude because I'm like, well, it depends who your friends are, to be fair. None of my friends post about breakfast, but, maybe they should. Might be lighter than some of the stuff they post about. I mean, I found it quite funny because I just got listed on something on Twitter, about Twitter. And so I've had this upkick in recruiters following me. And I get staggered by how many just don't even fill their bio out and just don't understand it. So what would be your top tip for getting people to follow back?
It is exactly that. My top tip whenever I'm talking to people, it is have a very strong profile with a great bio, great image. So many times people don't fill out their bio, or they might put exactly. They might have a little one-liner that's a real cutesy, just trying to be fun and silly, but not being serious about their business or what it is they really do. Or then the new trend right now are the people that are putting every other word is a hashtag. What's that about? You can't even read through and understand what they're trying to say. So you got to have a really strong, compelling bio. It's very, very important. And then what I tell people, tell my students is when you have a strong bio, you'll get noticed. People will pay attention to you. So for example, if I come on this blab and I don't know you, Katrina, actually, I don't really know you very well. I know Audra. So I could click on your profile here and then from here, go to your Twitter and be like, okay, I want to go check her out. I want to learn more about her. And your bio is very good. It draws me in. It's very well written. I love the way you do the stars. I'm a big fan of that.
I stole that off somebody. I think I stole it off Audra.
It looks really Audra has that. I was like,
I didn't. I was using the pipe above the backslash, but I saw Audra's stars, so it's her fault.
Right. It is. It's very cool.
So, I mean, my thing with the bio is I've done the Aussie, Britain, London, and the dog lover and kind of injected my personality. So I get so many recruiters say to me, well, how do we do that and still look professional?
Right. Well, you got to look professional. That is so extremely important. What too many people are doing, I find, is that when they sign up, they're not always taking it seriously. They're not like putting together a profile that truly showcases their professionalism. And I think it's because they just don't understand what the platform is truly about. And, for you guys in recruiting and the people looking for jobs, like everybody in this circle needs to take this very, very seriously.
Okay, so what you do, I must admit, you don't have the quirky in yours. I'm just reading it. So you've been quite formal, I guess, because you're using it for business. You don't think there should be some character?
Well, you absolutely can. And I think there's nothing wrong with trying to put in some character. There's 160 characters in a bio. So you're very limited in your space. Now, because I do so many different things in business, I couldn't fit it all on here. So I had to so that's why I couldn't put like a little bit of like a little, one or two words that, reflect my non-business personality. I had to decide what are the most important things I want to get across. And so to me, the most important is my Twitter chat and my podcast. So, but it all dependent on, what works for you. It always boils down to every individual, what works for you.
One thing I'm not a big fan of is I see all the time people talking about how they're like a coffee lover. And I just don't feel like that says anything about you. I don't really understand that. It's like a waste of space for me. That's what I think.
Well, they should go a step further.
My God, you just got hat thingos for that.
I am a coffee lover, but I don't feel like that is something that is exciting that defines me that I need to put on.
Okay, so how
but there's the coffee and the tea camp, you see.
Yeah, but does it really tell something about you that's exciting or different?
No. So, like, how could you take that and go to the next level with it? What kind of coffee lover are you? Is there a certain type that you like? Do you drink it all day? Like some people are, will make it very clear that they are a coffee drinker day and night and, they're hardcore, or they may say something like hardcore coffee drinker or, something that where you get that visual. Cause when you say hardcore coffee drinker, you get this visual in your head of like, energetic. Okay, I get it.
I think it should be either Starbucks hater, right?
Okay, that's a good one.
Because no one should drink Starbucks because it's just wrong on 1,000 levels. Or caffeine intravenously was probably the best way. So we've got some comments. Okay, gorgeous Abby. Hello, Abby. Lovely to have you for the first time. I have a coffee pick next to my name. Enough said. Very, very true. And you're going on about us going from work to personal. Oh, we have questions as well. Oh, so adding it to your bio as a character builder. Yeah, no, I agree. I guess it's just getting.
Do you recommend putting any hashtags in your bio, or is it not needed?
Yes, like maybe one or two. It really depends. Like in my case, what I'm doing is with my Twitter Smarter hashtag. I've actually branded that. Like that's part of my branding. I use it for my online courses. It's what I call my podcast. It's what I call my Twitter chat. So I have it in there, but I'm using it in a way where I'm mentioning, host of # Twitter Smarter chat. I do advise my clients to put one or two hashtags in depending on what exactly, like here's an example. I work with a legal recruiter. You guys will be happy to hear that. I work with a recruiter. So she's on the legal side. And so we've been, and I'm specifically helping her with Twitter, and we've looked at different hashtags and then looked at what are her goals. What is she trying to put out there? And she's trying to be a resource, and she shares a lot of legal news. I said, okay, well, # legal news. You're using that in a lot of your tweets. Let's put that at the end of your bio. So when people come on, they can see that, okay, legal news, that this is something that's part of what she's doing because it's on her bio.
Yeah. That's so funny because Abby's just gone. She's reviewing her bio, so I'm now giving it the once over. Sorry, Abby. She's got love Black Americanos.
I think it's
probably a couple too many hashtags, but that does describe you to a T. That's exactly who you are.
I think it'd be fun to review Twitter bios from people that are here right now. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's £50 a pop though. Let's make some money out of it. No kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
So my gorgeous Sarah Duxbury, who was on a few weeks back from Fletcher's Solicitors, who's hired successfully via Twitter, they love it because it allows them to actually be themselves. And what they do is rule people out of the recruitment process because they'll come in and be like, no, this isn't the environment for us. Because a lot of people want like a very formal solicitor work office, and they're not. They're completely the opposite. It's very like family oriented, and it's very open plan office and very relaxed. So in that respect, I think it's also good because you can just be yourself and it allows them to be.
Right.
A sort of a deselection, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So being that you don't like, or you only want 1 or 2 hashtags in a bio, I assume that's the same for a tweet?
Yeah, so for Twitter, when you're doing a tweet like, 1 or 2 hashtags, you don't want to fill it up with too many. I see a lot of people, I see recruiters doing it too, where they're trying to take advantage of the search capability by just stuffing it with a bunch of hashtags. I just don't really think that's the best way to go. I think the best thing to do is, do some research and find the most powerful hashtags that will get you noticed. If you're too generic and you just like with the one I'm working with in legal, if she just does hashtag as legal, the pound legal, that's too generic. That's too generic. So like legal news, legal firms,
legal
jobs. Exactly. So, get specific, go look and see who's using it. And then another thing, if you come up with something really unique and nobody's using it, stake claim to it, make it your own. You can't own a hashtag. You don't buy them. This is just something that's available on Twitter. Somebody could come over and start, using my Twitter smarter and be a jerk. I mean, it's kind of like a jerk move if you ask me. Yeah. But, the musician chat we used, the hashtag is #GG chat. Well, that's very generic. There's been other people whose organizations have those initials, just like my organization, and they want to do a Twitter chat. They don't research it first to check and see if it's being used. So it's always important to do the research, whether it's for a chat or just for your own use. See who's using it, see what they're using it for, and find ways for you to utilize it as well.
Okay, so I always suggest they use #Hashtagify to also find the other hashtags around. Are you suggesting that, or are you suggesting going and just doing the generic search on the top of Twitter?
Well, there's the advanced Twitter search. Are you familiar with that? Yeah. Okay, so on the advanced,
way, isn't it? It's hidden.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's been around forever, and people just didn't know it was available. And so if you go to search.twitter.com, that's how you can, it's like a shortcut to getting there. But when they made some changes last year with the search box, you know, if you're in the search and then you go to the pull down at the very bottom, it'll say advanced search. But that is a great place to go to do the research. But also for you guys as recruiters, it's a great place to go to do, find the people you want to connect with, through that is because you don't think so? Because you can hone in on your location. So let's say you have, your firm is, your local area. You want to find people, looking for jobs in a local area. You can use that to connect with them. But also if somebody,
it's not, I don't think Twitter search is as good as it could be. So
with the advanced search, how's that?
Advanced search. So they got rid of timelines, so you can't go and find lists, which is a real shame. Because if they're looking for specific skill set,
understand that.
But that's okay because there's electoralhq.com, which is great for that. Plus, you can X-ray search for listener. But the one I love is Managed Flitter actually for bio searches because you can hover. You don't actually have to click through every single bio. You can just hover and see if they're right and see if they're active, which I think is also quite handy.
Those are great tools.
I think it's such a shame because I think Twitter's missing a trick there by not having it so searchable. Like, why did they get rid of the list function? It's just, Crazy.
And why is the advanced search hard to find? That seems weird to me.
Makes no sense to me.
I didn't know your shortcut, I should say, that you just said.
Oh,
I run a search and then I go and click the side button and go down to advanced that way.
Yeah, it's been there for years. So that's part of my education with teaching is teaching all of these things. You probably don't know.
Again? And I'll just type it in.
Search.twitter.com.
Yeah.
It's a little shortcut.
A long way.
It's a little shortcut. Actually, if you do search.twitter.com, what happens is it brings up a screen for the regular search, and underneath it says advanced search. It's just easy to remember, search.twitter.com. Yeah. You click on advanced search, and then I would bookmark this. And so it's twitter.com/search-advanced.
Yeah.
And I would bookmark this because there's so much. Let me give you some examples of what you can do with this. So let's say you tweeted somebody several weeks ago and you're like, man, I want to find that tweet. I can't remember what I said to them and I just want to look it up. You could come in here and if you look under people, it says from this account to this account. So you put in from you to them, you know, you put your at and your Twitter handle, their at Twitter handle, and it's going to bring up all the tweets between the two of you. And this can be great when you want to go back and find something. See, I tweet a lot. Like, you know, I tweet a lot. So, you know, if I wanted to go back and look at a tweet that Audra sent me a few weeks ago from something she was asking me, I'd be like, you know, how am I going to find that? Am I going to scroll through? You know, it'll take me an hour. So this is a great shortcut way of utilizing the advanced search. Also, if you were on a Twitter chat, same thing. You put the hashtag in and put like, oh, I was on that chat last week and so says something really powerful. Same thing. You would put in, there's a spot that says these hashtags. You put in the hashtag, you put from them, and it's going to find it. So very powerful what you can do in here.
That leaves you right open for a question. So, I mean, I tweet a lot as well. I think it's great. I love it. Yeah. And it's brought me so much business. So, and I'm probably here in New York because of it as well. So I think it's amazing. But I get so many people saying, oh my God, I can't even manage one tweet a day. Like, do you think there's a minimum? I mean, I sort of say, can you aim for 3? Like a breakfast, commute home, after dinner. But do you have a recommendation for your newbies to get them going?
Oh, yeah. I actually have what I call my Twitter secret sauce. So if everybody would love to go to, when you have time, go over to my Twitter page. It's just twitter.com/Madeline Sklar. And at the very top, and actually for you here on the blab, you just click on my name right here and it'll bring it up and you can click on the little bird.
I'm not doing that right Twitter. Now. I usually blow it up when I do that.
When you get the chance, so go over to my Twitter. I have it pinned to the top of my page, and pinning is another great tool to utilize, and we can talk about that as well. So pinned to the top is my secret sauce for growing your Twitter following, and the very first thing at the top says, tweet every day, minimum 3 times a day. Actually, in my courses that I teach online, I've upped it to 5 times a day. It's not hard to do. People will say, well, what do I tweet? In my beginner's course, I have a whole laundry list of things I go over. There's so much you can tweet.
Well, actually, I know
that's a big thing I hear from
you about that. Haven't you?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Audra's got a question about scheduling and buffer and buff Lily.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to talk tools because, I mean, that's the thing that people say, I just don't have time for this. Well, then I usually say to my clients, okay, well, let's start talking about scheduling. You can come in on Monday, spend 1 hour, get the whole week.
Absolutely. And, you know, this is what I think is so important for everybody is that our time is valuable, right? Our time is precious to all of us. And a lot of people say to me, I don't have time to get on Twitter. I don't have time to do this. And I'm like, let me show you some tools. Let me show you ways. My legal recruiter that I'm working with, so several days back, she said, I'm spending 3 hours a day coming up with content to post on my Twitter. Help. And I showed her some tools and I showed her some strategies and I cut her time in half and doubled the amount of what she is putting out there, which will majorly increase her engagement.
So one of the things I know, and Yups just said it as well, I mean, I love Buffer. Thanks to a tweet, the guys sent me a mug signed by the CEO, which I love.
Oh, nice.
Possession. But when I schedule my tweets via Buffer, I use the bit.ly shortener because I don't like it to be really obvious that I'm scheduling tweets. And I don't like the fact that, Hootsuite does the hourly link and all this kind of stuff. But my understanding from Audra is that you do use the buffer link. So is there a reason that you choose to do that?
Because it doesn't bother me if people see the buffer link and they know them using buffer. First of all, I can tell you at least half of the people on Twitter don't even know what buffer is.
Good point.
Most people are oblivious to what we're doing. I mean, people are really not paying that much attention to that. What people are interested in is the content. They want to see what we're posting and what can it do for them. I mean, that's what this is all about, is what are we doing for them? What can we do to help them do this and understand it and do it better? So Bitly links are great. I'm not knocking it at all. I'm a huge fan of Bitly. I've been using it for years. I like the analytics aspect of it. So I like how you can get a Bitly link set up and watch the numbers through that. But also on the flip side, with Buffer, they got great analytics. And what I like about it is that I could go into mine or my clients' accounts and see what are the top tweets that had the most clicks on it, or which ones had the most retweets. They give that all broken down to you, and that's so incredibly helpful.
I mean, that doesn't change anyway. I mean, I still use the Bitly and it still shows, which is quite good. So,
one thing I'm finding is, like, if I see someone do a really great tweet, but it's got the buffer, shortener, I might definitely click on it, I might share it, but I'm not going to engage with it and write back because I know that you're not actually sitting at your computer. But that just might be me.
But, so
it just, for me, like, I won't write back and say, and engage with that tweet because I know that you're not actually sitting there at your computer. Like, you're only going to get that 3 hours later and you're not going to write back.
Because that could be just me. Wait a minute, because you saw that it's a buffer link?
Right. So I know that you scheduled it 3 days.
All right. So let me explain something, because that's a great question and I can totally understand that. Well, first of all, you're like analyzing all this, which I guarantee you most people are not doing that. Yep. But here's the thing. So I use Buffer. I'm like the Buffer, one of the most biggest Buffer queens you're going to find. I mean, Buffer day and night. You want to know what my schedule is set up for? How many times a day my Buffer will go out?
30.
Oh, no, that's too much. That's high. 18 times a day, I have something scheduled in my Buffer. But here's the thing. You could see something and go, oh, she buffered that because you see the Buffer. I'm on Twitter right now tweeting. So it doesn't necessarily mean the person's not on Buffer. I think, and this might be one of the misconceptions, Buffer is used as a tool to help ease up your time. Okay. Yeah. So just like my client who was spending 3 hours a day on all of this, now it frees her up to get on Twitter and go engage with people. And that's what I'm doing too. I use Buffer. I use Tweet Jukebox, which is phenomenal. Yeah. And these tools do the heavy lifting for me so it can go, because people know me as being the person that puts out a lot of content. I share lots of articles on social media and Twitter because I want to help people. Yeah. And that's all done. That's like off to the side. So now I can be on Twitter right now and just tweet away and chat with everybody, have great conversation. It works really well. So just because you see the Buffer, sure, there are going to be people that do the Buffer and they're gone. They're doing the set it and forget it mentality, and they're not doing it the right way because, as we all know, Twitter's the cocktail party. We're there to engage and meet people. If you're just pushing out, what good does that do you?
Okay, so there's a couple of comments going down the side that I just want to address as well before I miss them all. Sorry. And someone's just like writing too much. So Rodney Perry, is Twitter still the end all of, is Twitter still the end all of social media? The kids have left Twitter in lieu of Snapchat, right? Well, I mean, it depends who you're recruiting. This is a blab about Twitter and recruitment. I actually think Twitter's quite buzzing. I think it's more buzzing the more restrictions LinkedIn makes, the more people are shifting over to Twitter, and certainly that's what I teach and love. Yes, perhaps the kids are over on Snapchat, but are we recruiting kids at this point? Depends, doesn't it? Someone going on about Hootsuite, but they're also live, which is great. But again, it shows your scheduling. Feedly and Pocket, that's a great combination as well.
That's a great combination. So what I've seen is that when the parents and the grandparents get on a platform, the kids leave. So when all the parents and grandparents got on Facebook, and at one point a few years ago, the largest demographic getting onto Facebook was older folks. And everybody, all these kids left because they're like, I don't want my parents and grandparents seeing. Hey, listen, I had a teenage son at the time. I understand. He left it like, he's like, I'm out of here, And what they did is they all went over to Instagram. And then when Snapchat started, they all went over to Snapchat. But here's what's interesting. A lot of us marketers are on Snapchat right now. Almost every marketer I know in social media, all the social media marketers, they're using Snapchat and figuring out how to use it to promote their business, to meet new people and connect, and then how to use it for their, how to best use it for their clients.
Which can pretty well guarantee that all the kids are going to leave Snapchat, and we'll be talking about something else next week. But to be fair, I actually think the kids will come back to Facebook because I watch my nephews and they're back again. So it's kind of swung around. Yeah, they've just swung around and come back because it's the easier network for keeping in touch with people. Yeah. I've never really thought they were on Twitter in the first place. As far as that particular demographic, I find it tends to be people who are using it for business purpose. All of the stagnant accounts are those that went on without a purpose to use Twitter. And so therefore, because it's just kind of pointless.
I find that with a lot of recruiters. They set up an account, they tweeted twice, and they called people and then left. Yeah,
because you've got to have that reason, which is like why I have my ebook, which gives them that structure for using it. Because it's about, like, as we've discussed, looking great, but then finding the right people to follow, sharing the right content that's going to attract them in. You've got to have a strategy for using it or it won't work. Of all the networks, it's probably the most important for that. Certainly compared to non-chatty LinkedIn, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't understand Snapchat, neither do I, Rodney. I mean, it's great from a marketing point of view. From a sourcing point of view, it's pretty useless.
Yeah. Do you use Snapchat a lot, Madeline?
I really just started using it recently because I've had an account for years, but I didn't get it. Like, what's the point? This was before stories, where the only way you used it is you took a picture or video and you sent it to one person and then it disappears. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that's time consuming. Why would I do that? Then they developed stories where it can go out to everybody in your community. And I saw more value in that. So, but I don't really care for it. I really prefer Twitter. Plus, we can do video on Twitter. And that's another thing that people don't realize. For everybody here watching, get out your iPhone or your Android, whatever you're using, open up the Twitter app. Yeah. And when you're on here and when you want to take a picture and you see the little camera icon, if you tap it, then the video camera pops up.
Exactly.
You tap on it, make a video, and let me tell everybody here how powerful this can be for you as recruiters. So let's say you're trying to connect with somebody and you really want to get their attention. So instead of retweeting, which is still a great way, and replying and liking and jumping in the conversation, try this next time. Yeah. Do the Twitter video and say, hi, so-and-so, I really love your tweets. You are doing a great job, and this really helps me tremendously.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, so caveat on that, though. Okay, so no offense to all of the recruiters here who I know aren't like that, but the average recruiter is going to go at Madeline Scar, do you want this job? And tweet a video at someone selling something. Selling the job, selling a product, because they don't understand the engagement. So that would be my only fear with suggesting that, is that they'll go sell. Like it's like,
it's not to sell.
Do you want this job?
Yeah, it's not to sell.
Engage. I mean, I think Jim Stroud that we had last week, he does the best videos as well. Like you're saying, it's constant, but he's never selling. He's always sharing a great tidbit of information.
Right. I mean, like I said in my example, is to, use it as a tool to, instead of just retweeting, you saw a tweet and you retweeted it and you liked it with somebody you want to connect with, just do a quick video and just tell them how much that article really helped them. So it's not about selling, getting on social media to just push out your stuff and do hardcore selling just doesn't work. Yeah. It's just, these platforms are for community, for engagement. Yeah. I'm real big with Twitter chats. I have found in all these years that if you want to be part of a great community, like you guys right here have a great community of people. This is awesome. So this is one way, is find a great blab like this or start your own. So many people say, well, Madeline, we don't have this in my city, or we don't have this online that I want to do. Well, do it yourself. Exactly. If somebody like you guys started this is awesome. If somebody says there's something missing and they wish somebody was doing it, get off your butt and start it yourself. You know, that's always an option. So I it's always kudos to people like you guys that are doing something amazing like this, that are helping so many people.
So just before we go to the Twitter chat, because someone's written down the side, which I love as well, and this will then nicely lead into the Twitter chat, is Periscope. But of course, Periscope deletes. But if you use it with Catch, which is KATCH, it will actually keep the recording for you. So that makes it more powerful with that video. And then we do have a question over here about how do you find Twitter chats. I actually find them quite stressful personally because I can't keep up with them. But I mean, so I tune in when I can. But I mean, you're obviously saying start your own, Madeline.
If there is not one out there for you to join in your business, in your niche, whatever it is that you wish somebody was doing, then just do it yourself. Anybody could start a Twitter chat. Anybody can come over to Blab and start a Blab. I started a Blab sharing tips about Twitter, like what I'm doing here with you guys. It's called Blab About Twitter. So if anybody's interested in that, just go, just click on my profile here and it'll take you over to my Blab and you can go and I do it every Tuesday afternoon. So you've been on Audra every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, that's just a little bit late for me.
Sorry.
I'll be asleep at 11.
What's the name of your co-host? I forget his name, but he's super fun. I like him.
Well, unfortunately, he is no longer part of the Blab. That was his last one.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been making some changes, doing a little housekeeping. So it'll still be fun, I promise.
Okay. So you can swap them out every week, have a different co-host.
And I was doing that for a while. That was a lot of fun.
Someone's written here, Bloodfired. That's brilliant. Hashtag Bloodfired. Okay. Love my Twitter chat. So many, always great info from smart people in every industry. Thanks for that, Steph. Do you have a particular favorite? If you do, if you want to write it down below. I can't get over this map. We've got people from South America and everyone on tonight. How exciting.
Madeline, what's your favorite one besides obviously Twitter Smarter? What else do you like?
There are so many really good ones. Last night I was on one of my favorites called Viral Chat. And it's a really great one for for people here that want to learn more about social media marketing, how to best use. Last night we were talking about content marketing and influencer marketing. It was really great. They're going to have me on as a guest in a few weeks talking about Twitter. So Viral Chat's really good. Media Chat. There's if anybody here is a blogger, there's a really great one on Monday nights called Blog Elevated. It's run by these really two awesome ladies that are just big time bloggers. So they built this massive community of bloggers. It's mostly female bloggers, and it's a lot of fun to go in their chat.
But so from a recruitment point of view, we've got EB chat, isn't there? Employer branding chat.
Yes.
And then
I'm hosting that next week.
Awesome.
Put the link down. OMC chat, isn't there? Open mic chat as well.
Yep. That one's today at noon.
What's the one Hannah runs? Career Sherpa. She does one as well. It's for job seekers.
Oh, is it Job Hunt Chat? I don't know.
Job Hunt Chat. There's really good recruitment ones, which is obviously.
Yeah, we definitely have to find out.
So is there a Facebook guru like Madeline?
Also, one of my favorites is called, I think, Madeline, you might have heard of it, but I don't think you've joined. It's called Spoof Chat. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of that one. I've heard a lot about that one.
What's that one about, Audrey?
It's like social media and marketing, but it's joking about it. So every week we'll but just gently and fun. It's nothing rude at all. We just gently make fun of like silly things, like when people are auto DMing and just things that
I've had so many of those in the last week.
Yeah, they're so bad that you actually talked about that.
Because I've had this huge upkick that I've been
they're all DMing you. Yeah. Do you just ignore them, or do you unfollow them, or just ignore them?
It depends who sent it as to whether I unfollow them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's bad.
It's like, oh God, stop it. And particularly if they do it publicly as a tweet rather than a private DM, and then you look at the whole Twitter feed. Yeah. And one I've seen was, I'm going to swear, they were thanking fuck vibes for the follow. It's like, I'm sure they didn't want to actually thank that particular person for the follow because it was a spam account. Really? But
yeah, that's really out of control. I hate it because I can't get I miss good messages because there's so many DMs. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, thankfully not too many people. Oh, Spoof Chat. Oh, you've written it. Oh, no, you're right.
Someone else did.
Yeah, Spoof Chat.
I'll write them. But it's just a really fun crowd, and it's very lighthearted and silly. And and there's full of GIFs. I'm obsessed with GIFs. They're so much fun.
Yeah. Actually, where's that little GIF man? He's not here today. Actually, the other one, Recruiter Fail, by the way. Not a Twitter chat, but if you really want to entertain yourselves.
What's it called? Recruiter Fail?
Is a hashtag to go and have a look at.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Oh yeah, it's great. I put it in my presentation last night because it was. That's where normal people go to talk about we recruiters when we're stuffing up.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's a bit dangerous. It's not a Twitter chat. Maybe it should be.
Yeah, we can start it.
Start a new one.
There you go.
It'll be like spoof chat for
Can
recruiters.
we have it earlier in the day though, so I can be awake for it?
Yes. Madeline, I'm curious more about podcasting. How much work? It seems like a ridiculous amount of work, but I feel like more recruiters could use it if it wasn't so time consuming.
It's very time consuming, but it's so incredibly rewarding. I mean, all the amazing things that happened to me last year was because I started my podcast. It was something I wanted to do for years. I've done podcasting before, so I was very familiar. That's why I got my nice microphone here. And when you have a nice podcasting mic like this, it works great for blabs and webinars and online classes. Anything you do when you're speaking, it really comes in handy. It is time consuming, but you get so much out of it. I mean, you can become an industry leader so quickly by having a really, really good podcast. I interview top social media marketers on mine, and that has gotten my name out there so well for people. Because I did a major pivot last year, and Audra knows this. I've been in the music business for the last 20 years, so I've been like a top social media expert over on that side. But now I've done this shift because I want more people to know about what I do. I want to help more people. I don't want to be limited to this one niche. And so the podcast, and then I launched the Twitter chat to go with it 2 months later. And it's just been phenomenal.
Well, I know the Audra and I have both been on Ryan, and I know he's there, so we're waving at you, Ryan. Ryan,
yeah, hi Ryan.
Have you
heard
brand
his?
new
Really
podcast?
Good.
So the brand new podcast.
The brand new you show. You have to check that out, Madeline.
I've been a guest.
Oh, you've been on it, of course.
Yay, we all have. Oh my God.
Yeah,
we're Ryan's
ladies,
babies.
I've been all over.
Hi, Ryan.
I know everybody.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you've all been on.
That's so funny.
So I'm sure that's helped him as well. But I mean, certainly Audra and I have found from this, which he can, of course, then take the audio out of. And I've got it up on SoundCloud. Actually, I haven't got last week's on SoundCloud. But I love the way that this is actually just so amazing.
One of my predictions last year when Blab came out and they made it available for us to have audio, not just any audio. They bought that company that specializes in audio, and so we know that we're getting good high quality. Yeah. So what I predicted was that we're going to see a lot more podcasters because you can take, they email you the video file and the audio file when you're the host and you're done with your Blab, and you can now take that file. You don't even have to edit. You can just go put it right onto iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud, which are the top three. And now you're a podcaster, which is pretty cool.
But I can't believe it's free. I keep saying to them, when are you going to start charging for this? Because I feel
know.
like I should be paying for it. It's like,
it's amazing.
Too good. I should be giving you something.
Well, it's funny because it's still
saying shush, but I'm quite happy as a host of a show. I pay for my bank account. Why shouldn't I pay?
So easy.
It's like, I'll give you $10 a month. Wouldn't bother me.
Well, we have to.
Too good.
We have to remember it's still in beta. I mean, all you got to do is look at the top left corner and it says beta.
I know.
It's all this time. And it's like, here's what amazes me. So you still got the people, I don't think there's very many that are still using Google Plus Hangouts, but Google Plus Hangouts does not work. I've been watching it from day one. I was so excited when it came out. I'm like, this is a game changer. It was wonderful. And I'm a techie. And when it goes down, I watched all these people do webinars and stuff, and then it doesn't work. It's like, well, I never canceled my GoToWebinar account, thank God, because that works.
Actually, try appear.in for instant message. Like, this is cool. Appear.in. It's not as big. You can't have as many people on it, but for quick video chat, if you need it to be private, not like this because it's public. Right. But what I love is, you're talking, Audra's going and I'm doing whatever, or or whatever, showing she's listening. The screen's not flicking.
Right.
So I was on one of the SourceCon hangouts, which was a hell of a lot of fun. But my dogs came in the room, and I wasn't speaking, but behind me they started playing, and the screen was flipping onto me while someone else was talking. And Jeremy ended up muting me. I had no idea that it was affecting it because I wasn't the main one. But and also you're talking and your mouth is like, the speech and the mouth don't match up. Today probably it's the same on here because my Wi-Fi isn't good because I'm in the hotel. But normally this is spot on. So I love it.
It works great. I mean, can you imagine this? Yeah. I mean, can you imagine this is just in beta and it works this great? I mean, I've never had a problem with it. You know, I've been on it since, like, it'll tell you, like, you know, how many days you've been on when you click on your profile.
Yeah.
I've been on it for 166 days.
Yeah.
In all this time, the only time the video didn't work on the replay was 2 weeks ago on my Blab.
Yeah.
You know, they emailed it to me, clicked on it, didn't work.
Yeah.
You go to my Blab profile, it's not there.
Yeah.
That's the only time. But, you know, you expect that on a beta.
Yeah. I've never had that. I mean, I've had it a few times not get loaded, message them, immediately come back and help. They're unbelievable. I love them. Someone's giving you props for your Nirvana t-shirt.
I wear this especially for Madeline.
Oh, that's so cool.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, we're running out of time already. My God, that went fast. So leave the recruiters with number one tip that they can leave right now and go and improve their Twitter.
Well, let's go back to Twitter chat. So what I would leave with everybody is, and you know, this is, you know, homework. I want everybody to go research some Twitter chats. You guys were mentioning, you know, several Twitter chats. If you could, you know, put those hashtags in there for everybody to go check out. I would love for everybody here, because here's the bottom line. You can listen to me talk about Twitter all day long. It's not going to do you any good unless you go take action. So I would like for everybody here to go take action, go check out these Twitter chats, go look in the chat room here and look at all these different chats people are typing. I would love for everybody, you know, post your favorite Twitter chat for this industry.
I need to do it right now. As soon as I shut it, it will be, you can't write anything anymore.
Yeah, and also put the date and time. Also put the date and time when you guys are posting the hashtags for the Twitter.
Oh, no, I did. I have to look that up.
Put what day of the week and the time. And everybody here, let me tell you what, if you just minimum one, I actually recommend 2 or 3 a week, but just at minimum, get on one, don't do it once, go every week. I actually have an article about this on my blog. When you consistently go to a Twitter chat, you become like Norm from Cheers, where everybody knows your name, because that's what it's all about. It becomes this community where you're with your people, you know, like-minded people. It's amazing.
You realize that nobody on Snapchat knows what you just said.
So true.
It's an age thing.
So true.
One thing too, I think is good for newbies is I say just go and just lurk, you know, because they're kind of scared to jump in sometimes or what to say. So just watch a few of them, and then the next week you'll just be like, all right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And just have an opinion. And I think also, and don't be afraid. You know, so I did a Donald Trump tweet recently that actually ended up in the Telegraph paper, which was hilarious. And I got trolled on Twitter because of it, because there's obviously a lot of Trump fans out there, which is rather worrying. So what? It's just somebody hiding behind anonymity, so not to take it personally. You're entitled to have your opinion. If someone doesn't agree with it, whatever. I think that's a big thing as well. Sometimes people get a bit scared that someone might disagree with them. So Oh, Steph's really good. She's actually put the time of the open mic chat. Oh, it's 5 p.m. in the UK. I know that.
Yeah, today at noon.
Cool.
So I think really the top takeaways from this is that everybody should go look at their bio and make sure you have a really great, compelling bio, because if you get on Twitter chats, you start tweeting more, you start engaging more, everybody is going to always go look at your bio to see who you are. And so, you know, if I'm tweeting with you and you don't know me, you're going to go look at my bio first. And that's going to decide whether you follow me back or not. So take the time. Everybody needs to review their bios and make sure it's amazing. It's 160 characters. Use all of it.
Every single
all of it. Yeah, very important. And then get on Twitter chats and go have fun with it.
And don't sell. Don't throw jobs at somebody. You've got to engage properly in a conversation like you would in the pub.
And no auto DMs ever.
Ever.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, Madeline, thank you so much for joining us today. Very excited to have you here. I'm sure we've all gained loads out of it.
Thank you.
Totally.
Audra, next week. I've forgotten.
Well, first, I just want to say, everyone, it's MadelineSklar.com. We can get your podcast there, right? Definitely check out the podcast. It's fantastic.
I'll put the links in.
Yeah,
quick before I shut it, because it'll be fun.
Okay, next week is Rafael Hernandez, and he is a recruiter, but he's also the former chief marketing officer for the U.S. Marines. So we're going to talk veteran recruitment. He's going to teach us where to find them on social. It's going to be really good because he's got the marketing and the recruitment side. So I think that'll be good. That's next week at 10 a.m. same time on Friday.
And it's good to see Jose has joined for the last minute. Hi, Jose. Hi, Jose.
Hi, Jose. Fantastic.
Cool. Well, thank you again so much.
Thank you, Madeline.
We'll see you all next week.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.